So welcome back. Another build video. First one for Morrowind. This is basically, this is just going to be Wrobel's Revenge 2.0 pretty much. All that's really changed here is I took Black Rose out. Black Rose just isn't as good this patch. They nerfed the sustain passives, so that impacts Black Rose substantially. But with that said, heavy is still good. So this is a 5 heavy build, and I will do medium builds, like medium and stuff's more viable and all that. But this is really good. So this is what Wrobel's Revenge is what I use the non-CP. BGs right now are non-CP. Procs are very strong, so this is in there. So let's go down the line on what I got. So I still have Viper in the same places, sword and board. Got an impen shield, a sharpened weapon, then 3 jewelry. Now, most people aren't running this on their classes, weapon enchants across the board, but I am. My regen is really low. It really is. I depend on Dark Deal heavy attack a lot. So that's happening. But I'm able to pull it off and it works. So we have that in there. I have 2 tremor. This is the only piece. I don't have an impen shoulder, but I don't honestly think I need it with what I'm doing.
Son of a bitch.
But we have a 2-piece tremor, and then we have 5 impreg on the body. The back bar is a Maelstrom axe. If you don't have a Maelstrom axe, just get a crafted axe. Get some kind of axe for the bleed. The impreg is all impen. This gives me massive crit resist. So the idea behind this is it's like Black Rose, and it's 3 bonuses: max health, stam, and magicka, which is good. But then the 5-piece is crit resist instead of the sustain restore that we had from Black Rose. What this means is basically crits don't hit as hard, which is good, because when you get bursted, it hurts like hell. It won't help with things like proc sets, which you'll face a lot of, but it will help with things like ults hitting you and the real burst, like a leap, a fragment, a meteor, things like that. It helps with the rest. So that's the idea behind that. I tried putting on, this is what I did today. I have a light belt, by the way. I have a medium glove. These are your 2 lightest armor pieces. If you can get light and medium in there, that's the best. The other 5 are heavy. I put try enchants on the 5 impreg pieces. I just left stamina on these 2, but I could try enchant them, but I'm not really doing that. But I have some try enchants. Reason being, I want a good pool of stats. I actually want some extra health. Survival is key in this. You don't want to have too low HP, or you're going to get bursted and you're going to die. I want a magicka pool as well, because a lot of my resource management pulls from Dark Deal, and I still need magicka to do crit surge and streak, so I still need that there. So that's the equipment layout. The axe is sharpened on the back bar. You technically could go defending, but I use it pretty offensively. I throw poisons on the back bar as well. So we have that. So that's the equipment layout. Could go through CP. I didn't even really set the CP up. I just jammed CP in there. When I make a CP build, I'll probably do that. I could kind of go over it. Mainly what you should focus on with this build, like, it's probably not spent well at all. But again, it doesn't apply in BGs, and this is like a build I'm using for non-CP and BGs. When I do CP, I'll probably have a different build. But real quick, if you just want a general idea, in case you do want to use this in CP, it'll still perform well there. I don't even really need that. That's kind of a waste. I have so little regen, it doesn't matter. Yeah, like I threw things in. I was testing out Befal. Befal's very good with this, obviously, using reverb. We'll go over the skills here in a second, in case you're unfamiliar with the first iteration of this build. But yeah, again, I can't speak to any of these CPs, but if you just want like a rough ballpark of things to use for PvP, there's something for you. It's in there. It's referenced. It'll probably work roughly. So here is the skill layout. Same as Wrobel's Revenge, but Ransack, first slot. This gives us this is going to be a debuff, and our main skill. It's cheap, Stam. It debuffs their physical resistance, and I mean basically the way this build works, it is good damage. It has great burst. You can kill people real well when their guard is down or when you've beaten their resources out, which is kind of the point. It is not the highest damage thing. Like in my party, the other people around me do more damage. What this build is really good for is applying frontline pressure and initiating, and being able to absorb damage pretty well. I wouldn't consider you a tank. You can absorb damage well while doing good damage, harassing, and debuffing, like doing essential things for the group. So you have Ransack, Streak, Reverb, also Sword and Board. This is our other debuff. So we have Major Defile, we have Major Fracture. So these two debuffs are pretty key, and we front load these in the rotation against people. We have Vigor and Crit Surge on the front bar. For Sustain, you always want to keep Crit Surge up, and you want to Vigor whenever you know you're going to need it taking damage. Then we have Dawnbreaker Smiting. Back bar, I have Crit Rush, Shuffle, Hurricane, Rally, and Dark Deal. Anytime your mana's full and your stam's not, you want to pop some Dark Deals. Weave them in there. People can bash, they will bash. You want to be mindful of it. Like when someone's under pressure, you can usually do a Dark Deal. If someone has you on the run and you're low on stam, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So you want to keep your stam up through the fight, and you're going to weave heavy attacks, which you're going to do with pretty much any build this patch. So don't find yourself out of stamina, you're going to be screwed. Rallies, obviously, you use that as a burst heal as well. And yeah, these two you want to keep up as well. You Shuffle. It is expensive, but it's better than rolling sometimes to break roots. But you may need it to clear slows if you really need to relocate. You can Shuffle off, bar swap, streak away, Vigor, go back and start Dark Dealing and try to get stuff up. People will chase you and bash you if they're mindful of it. That's where you have to use line of sight, but there's a lot of that in Battlegrounds. Lastly, on the back bar, I have Rearming Trap and Caltrops. So BG's has a lot of taking a flag and holding it. When you go and you take a flag, let's say this box is our flag. You know, I usually apply a trap and I can pivot. So when I see someone engaging, if he's coming from this way, I'll be like, all right, let's go. Come at me. Right? If he's a melee, you have that to use to your advantage. And this is very effective to use, so you want to use it. And Caltrops doesn't last as long now, but it is more effective, so you kind of want to drop it late, but it doesn't cost the super high amount of stamina it used to. So you can have the trap down that lasts a while. You see someone coming in, like 2 or 3 people, throw this down, you go back, and you get your buffs, and you get ready to throw down. This overload bar is helpful in that respect. I have Rapids, which I give the team, and I use myself when I really need to like move across the map. I'll put up Rapids. There's a lot of good use out of that. Finally, we have Spell Symmetry and Dark Deal. Spell Symmetry, most people don't know this skill. This is in your Mages Guild, but basically this drops your health when you use it. It takes away 5k health. It gives you Magicka, and it also makes your next skill cost reduced. Cost only for Magicka. You can use this in conjunction with Dark Deal. For example, I've emptied my stamina out, and I just got away from combat, and I'm out of flag, and I don't have a lot of regen in this build. So I Dark Deal. Or, I'm sorry, Spell Symmetry, Dark Deal. Spell Symmetry again, Dark Deal. Spell Symmetry, Dark Deal. That one, there we go. And finally, when I'm done, I usually try to do one more at the end, and I swap over and I can Crit Surge. That Crit Surge didn't cost much. So I do a lot of that. That's how we're going to sustain in between fights. During fights, we're going to use heavy attacks and Dark Deal. We have a good Magicka pool, though, because we're using Tri-Food. I should show that as well. So I'm using Tri-Foods. I'm also using Thief, Mundus. And then pots I can show you. I highly suggest using immovable pots. They are expensive, but these are the pots I use. I actually rotate between 3. The ones I end up using the most are these, the healing pots. Health, stam, immovable. Usually once I'm in the fight and I start eating a burst from somebody, I immediately pop this to counter the burst and recover. This will happen a lot if you have a Nightblade around you and you know he's going to hit you. He's going to open up and chunk over half your health. You get up, you pop the pot, you rally, you turn over to your other bar, you vigor, and you start to recover, and then you can turn and apply pressure on him, which is going to be more than what he's going to put out on you. I also have the other ones. I don't use that one that much in here, but I have this, the Major Expedition one, which just allows me to keep move speed up the whole time instead of the heal. And then lastly, I have one that'll boost my crit rate.
Son of a bitch.
Those are the 3 I have. I end up using the heal one the most because, again, BG's largely about staying alive. You can stay alive. You can usually out-sustain people, apply pressure, and win the fight. I'm going to do a quick clip of a... Maybe before I show the clip, I'll just show general concepts and rotations. You know, you always put up rally before the fight and crit surge. They last a while. Shuffle. And usually I dark deal like once or twice, you know. And then reapply Hurricane, because that one's only 15 seconds. So when we're going into a target, if this is our target, you can wind up a heavy attack, and then you still maintain a distance. There's a distance where you can heavy attack but still crit rush. I'll show you here. We're going to do this. See, both of them hit him. He got hit with a heavy attack, and I crit rushed immediately after, right? See? That is usually my opener. So we'll come in, do that. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of the fight and like I'm slowed, I'm not going to have the crit rush. This one's kind of the easy part. The sword and board is kind of a quick rotation. So I'm going to do the heavy attack and crit rush. As soon as I arrive with the crit rush, I'm immediately bar swapping. I'm doing a reverb, then a light attack, then ransack, then a bash. It's all happening real quick. So we're going to come in, do this, bar swap into that. Because the bar swap into a reverb, like, you don't even really see the reverb. Watch again. It's very quick. Okay? Now, sometimes they actually get stunned, and the animation's so quick, like, the reverb happens, and, again, it's even hard to see it happen so quick because of the bar swap.
You son of a bitch.
See, like, I reverbed that thing a little bit before it actually said stunned. So you just kind of have to trust it's going to be there. But it's very effective as a stun, rather than wrecking blow. But anyway, after the reverb, that's kind of your opener stun. And then again, the light attack ransack is going to proc the rest of the stuff, your tremor and whatnot. Sometimes when I have a real light target, like if I see a Sorc, a 20k health Sorc in front of me, if that's what this giant snake was, then I would just immediately go on him, and instead of reverbing, I would do the Dawnbreaker into the light attack ransack. Because the Dawnbreaker acts as a reverb, but in this case, I see a target I can instantly wipe out that's like a high value target. Same thing with a healer, same thing with a Stam Nightblade. If I see something I can really crush out, if I see someone's health that's not right, or they're in trouble and I can knock them out, then I'm going to do that. I think that'll be in the clip that I'm going to show. But that's the general concept of skill rotations there, right? So you do that, the bash, light attack, ransack. Like, these things don't have enough health to even last through the combo. But another thing worth mentioning is bar swapping heavy attacks is pretty good. I would suggest everybody practices this patch. This is something I was doing the other day. Like, here's a full heavy attack animation right there, right? And you can see, look at my stamina bar. See how it fills up when I heavy attack? There you go. You got stam back from your heavy attack, which you're going to have to do this patch. I just kind of cancel a lot of heavy attacks with bar swap weave. Show you what I mean. See how it returns stamina there? I didn't even finish the animation. Just cutting it short. See? I'm just bar swapping. I'm using the bar swap cancel. And again, this applies to going in with a heavy attack on this, bar swapping into the reverb, light attack, ransack, bash. So that's kind of, you kind of want to practice the combo, because if you get good at weaving, you become dangerously effective with this setup. I see a lot of people that run this setup, but the better they are at weaving, the much better they become as a player with this. Because when I get people using this build against me, and they're good at weaving, it's rough. But a lot of people I've seen use the build, but not everybody weaves it well. So you can just go practice on stuff too. You know, just get the swing of it. So that's the general idea there. Again, this is a good frontline build. You have a lot of healing options to your name here. It's really, really effective for the group. You'll see I kind of lead in and start the fight.
Son of a bitch.
Like if I'm going up to an enemy, here's my group, they're right behind me, we're in BGs and we're like running up to something, everything's dead. Right? And like, that's, say that giant snake is like the first person in the BGs and the rest of the group's right behind him. I'll be like, okay, there's a Magicka DK holding block at the front, and then there's like 2 Templars and a Magicka Sorc behind. I'll crit rush into him, bar swap, and immediately streak through and go on the back guys. Get them pinned down. It fucks everything up they wanted to do. And that's really the value you can bring to the party. And then you can start to focus and prioritize the things that are weakest and that you need to knock out the most. So, there's all my high-level strategies just laid out on a plate for you guys. Some Stam Sorc experience. I'm going to throw up a clip and we can just kind of look at how it unfolds. But generally, if you want to see it, I'll use it on stream a lot too.
Bitch.
Thanks for the follows, guys. Let's check this out. See it on stream. See if this works. Okay. So here's me. We're just gonna have to deal with. You're gonna have to deal with 2 of me for a little. Hug left. So here we go. I jump in. You see I buffed up. I dark dealed even my Stam back here. I think this... So there was the crit rush. I immediately bar swapped into a reverb on that guy. Same thing. This guy lead with the reverb. Anyone running, you just do your medium to heavy attack and then crit rush. Anyone that wants to run from you, just keep slamming them with that shit. I know some of this moves really quick if you're trying to learn it, but, you know... you get the hang of what's going on here. Just wanted to check. Yeah, you guys can see this on stream. Okay. So yeah, here's a Magicka Sorc. He's trying to do heavy attack restos. Make sure you block them and you can kill their sustain. I end up using Dawnbreaker a lot on Magicka Sorc because they're really tough. You have to use it at the right time with their shields, though. And you see again, like you see how I'm leading in there with the crit rush and the reverb, and my party is allowed to just follow up. They know this. Like we play together very well because of the build design. I can kind of lead in, I can debuff the target and line up a stun, and they can follow up. That works very well. So you're on top of being a good damage with good survival. Like you're very essential when you play with people on this build. It's a very good team play build. So again, winding up a heavy here. I bashed him there. I'm switching over. Light attack, ransack, dawn broke. He moves away. You immediately crit rush. There's a Nightblade. Usually try to pin them down with streak. Nightblades, you want to get ahead of. You don't want to sit there and let them open on you. If you can streak onto them and start applying pressure, they can never open on you hard. And they're very... Stam Nightblades, they will hurt a lot here. So you want to try to get in their face and stay on them. There's one over there. There he is. You can see him moving around. There's 2 mages up there. We're going right at the healer here, and he's instantly dead from that. If you combo with anyone that's like played with you and can assist very well, then this it works very well with that. By itself, it has a lot of damage. Combined with somebody else, it applies such quick pressure. If you're not ready, then you get really boned by it. Even recovering is very difficult.
Smith, did you just get packed up?
Yeah, Smith got packed up there. Let me.
Did you just get packed up?
It's worth seeing again, just to see like a Nightblade coming in. I wonder if I had a pot and I used that there. I didn't actually see. Because this is a Nightblade in this one. He kept trying to gank, but this is a good. So my pot just came up. I think I hold it here until he opens. Watch my health bar on the open. There he is. He hit me. I turned and I immediately Dawn broke, ransack, weave, and killed him. I recovered with the pot. I would have been dead without that pot.
Did you just get packed up?
2 dark deals around the corner. I can go back on the Magic of Sorc. So that's pretty much the rotation on this. I mean, you're seeing the same things. Pretty much just rerun on these guys over and over. Here you go. I'm back on the spell symmetry bar right now, or my overload. I just did one there. But yeah, Nightblades and Magic of Sorcs are very, very vicious burst. A lot of classes can burst a lot, actually, but you'll see those very commonly in BGs, I think, across all platforms. I think that's going to be very popular. Warden eventually will when people get more experience and there's builds out with it, because Stam Warden puts out insane burst. You see that? Crit rush right into the Reaver. Let me see if I can just roll it back again. Just to see, like, it's here you go. Crit rush, light attack, immediately bar swapped into the reverb, light attack, ransack, and
Unbelievable.
that's the combo. So
You son of a bitch.
I think that covers most of the build pretty well. There's Wrobel's Revenge, the first video. This is pretty much that. But again, some different things like heavy attack. Heavy attack's important. But the impreg you'll see a big reduction. Here's the ability to kind of tank there, is what I'm talking about. I led the fight in there. I did a Dawnbreaker, and then I went into a kind of a survival mode while my teammates came in, which was just one guy. I think that's Issa who came in with me there. And there's a Nightblade. You see the Nightblade. You find them. You get rid of them, because burst Nightblades are very easy to kill with this build. They can't take the high pressure you put out. With the debuffs you put on them, they can't purify them, and they just can't take that pressure as well as, say, a Magic of Sorc. Magic of Sorcs are kind of brutal. To kill them, you really want to hit them when their shields are down at a very specific time and their CC is available. And then you can hit them and hopefully get a crit. Because you are running Thief, you do have Viper, you have good crit rate. So you want to take advantage of that with your Dawnbreaker when you can. And you have pretty good damage, all things considered. 3 weapon damage enchants, and I still keep the weapon damage on this, on the front bar, to proc. So pretty good weapon damage. That all helps with your heals, like your rally, your vigor, and all that. So that's still good to have. That's pretty much it. If there's any questions, you can take them in the comments. I'll see if anyone has any here right now, but I don't know if there will be. Go to target skeleton. I'm good. I don't. That's actually a good idea for future videos. I don't think I really need to for one here. That's definitely a smart idea. But yeah, I think one thing people should really practice for all their builds is that heavy attack stuff. Again, you don't have to hold it the whole way and bar swap, and you can still get resources back. See how I didn't get it on the two-hander one, but I did on the sword and board animation's not as long, and I can get that easier, but I'm actually pulling off these heavies before they're done. And if I can do that, and again, this is something to practice, because once you get it down, like in the middle of fights, you do a heavy attack, and then you just bar swap into that reverb, and you're still getting Stam back. It's, or even if it's not a reverb, if you're just in the middle of fight, applying pressure, and you're just going back to that, you're going back and forth with, like, heavy attacks, rebuffing things, applying debuffs. See, I'm casting skills in between, although I'm animation canceling. Like, I rebuffed my shuffle, my rally, and my crit surge right there while I'm doing heavy attacks and still applying pressure. So all good things to do. Again, if you want to see more of the build live, just check it out on stream. If you have questions, you can try to throw them in the comments. I try to get to to the good questions I missed in YouTube comments, but you know, stream's definitely the best place to catch me, or Discord. What are the poisons I use? I use different ones. Either there's one for, there's like a double healing, double damage one. There's resource poisons. I'll throw in whatever. What would I recommend if you want to be the most abusive? Resource poisons, especially with this build, because you put out high pressure. So just double resource poisons if you really want to be a dick. How much impen is effective over 3.3k? If if 3.3 is supposed to be the cap, and confirm it's not. Crits are reduced heavily by this build to the point that it almost feels like you're not getting crit anymore. That was a hard cap on, no. No, not from the testing I've done. I did a little testing on it, and I was really knocking
You
crits
son of a bitch.
way down, which is good. So add on with all your skill loadouts. We'll tackle that in another one. I mean, this is dressing room, but I don't know, questions I'll save. I don't know if there's any other questions. Well fitted, maybe. I don't know. I don't really use too much roll dodging. I use it in a panic. Sprinting I do a significant amount of, but honestly, to like, if you can ever press your survival up, I recommend doing it, because that's the difference between life or death in an engaged fight with your team. If I discover anything else about impen I was wrong about, I will be sure to put it in the comments. Always check the comments. If I ever find something or something changes during the live patch before I do another build, I put it in the comments right below the video. So definitely check that out. Because if I need to update anything or change something or add something I totally missed in the build video, that's where it'll be. Will it be a good sub instead of Viper? I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Really, I don't like to entertain all the options. There's so many. Like on CP, I would put in Ravager, but I'm not going there. So yeah, and that's it. Oh yeah, my attributes, they're all in stamina. I think I covered everything else. Ignore the vampirism. Don't be a vampire. That's for another build. I think that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoy the build video. There will be more to come with Morrowind. I will do two-handed bow on my Stam Sorc. I have another one specifically for sewers I'm going to put out. And I have some other classes that I have lined up too that I'll probably do some stuff with. So, yeah, this is the build for now. It's dangerously effective in Morrowind until proc sets are really adjusted. If this is a great go-to in Battlegrounds. And I honestly think by next patch that proc sets will be adjusted. Along with some other mechanics hopefully get adjusted too. We'll see. But for now, this is what you can go in there. You want to rack up some W's and BGs or no CP. Run this build, and you'll be in pretty good shape. So, thank you. Hope you enjoy the build, guys. Go slice them up. Okay, that'll be the end of that build video.